gonna start recording. The weekly way. Oh, I can't spend the nose. The weekly way. Oh, can't tell me home. The weekly way. Did you see it? The weekly way. I'm glad you stopped by. Take him to him, baby. Hey. Take him up again. Oh, can you tell me who? Yeah. This shit almost. There we go. Jimmy Clepper, what's going on, sweet brother?
What's up, buddy?
For a long time I've admired you, Jimmy, and then things change. I just started to see you more as a Walmart greeter of song. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
No, I sincerely can't thank you enough for being on here for a little bit, because you're one of the baddest motherfuckers I've ever known, and I think you're overly humble at times. So I'm here to make you uncomfortable through the vehicle of words.
We're off to a good start.
Damn straight, brother. Hell yeah. Well, you said you'd be down to start off with a little ditty.
Yeah, why not?
What song are you gonna play?
It's called Needless to Say.
And is this the brand new one that's almost finished, or?
It's no, this one's finished. I got a studio version of it. I just haven't released it yet. I'm trying to put together a video and stuff for it before I.
You were talking about that, so I'm gonna send you some footage after this from some of the other muse dates and whatnot, and get you some of those clips.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You did one of those like the WV radio, or like the whatever that Appalachian kind of scene is, right?
Yeah, it's called Appalachian Untold.
And who steers that whole thing?
His dude's name is John Douglas Price. I'm pretty sure he was like the other half of Radio West Virginia.
Nice.
And then he branched off and started doing his own thing.
And this is a dude that likes to take a Neumann U87 out in the woods and make shit sound fantastic.
Right. Like, I got there and he's like, I hiked like half a mile into the woods before. And he's got a laptop sitting on the ground, and I was like already out of breath before I even started playing. I'm like, this is the most athletic thing I've ever done.
You're like, let me chain smoke a couple, get my mind right, and then we'll do this thing.
Yeah, let me get us a couple squares in before we start.
Squares? I've never heard that slang for it. Is that the session that Nolan did as well?
No, I think Nolan did Radio West Virginia.
Okay.
I think that's the one that he blew up on.
And then this guy branched off from that company to do this.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure he was partners with the guy that now runs Radio West Virginia.
How interesting the way that those have played into a handful of guys just blowing up for this.
Right.
I wouldn't even say it's not a congruent sound. It's not like any of these people fall in the same category. Right. Nolan is not Oliver Anthony, even though they got the beard, and I've heard they take some flack for that.
You see a ginger dude in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, and you're like, it's on.
Right. So I'm like, I might as well be the third ginger in the woods. They've had plenty of gingers in the woods.
Well, is it weird to see your songwriting style go from the rock, rap, kind of indie mix that you did with the Funnies to now your songwriter stuff does lend itself to that category of it's the new wave of Americana.
Right. Yeah, I think if you've watched a bunch of the videos on those channels, I think I'm a little bit almost like I don't belong on that channel a little bit, but I'm just right on the cusp of not being in Appalachia, so I passed the test.
Yeah, no, you definitely make the country caliber. I
right.
mean, you are from Brown County, right?
Yeah, Claremont County.
Claremont County, yeah. Okay. It's a little different. Y'all got a couple of them skyscrapers. 3
right.
stories, baby.
Right. If it's got me more than 3 stories, it's not.
That it counts. Then you're a city boy.
Right. I'm the city's just getting closer to Claremont County, it seems like.
During this solo phase of your life, have many people been asking you to label what this sound is out of you?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I had to, it would just be, like you said, folk, Americana, something like that. But, now I'm already kind of getting bored with that. I've had my stuff at Josh Kneckley, or Nelthy's house for a while.
Neck nuts is what you called him the one time, and I'll never forget that. You're like, this is Josh. I've never learned how to pronounce his last name.
Neck
nuts. And
I
dude,
know how to say it.
I fucking died.
But yeah, I had my electric guitar at his house for a long time, and I just got it back, and it like reignited my. I want to start doing some like more rock, indie stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sparked that back in me, but you know, it wasn't like I went in with an intention of this is how I want to write. You know what I mean? That's just kind of where I went.
Do you think some of the In the Woods sessions were part of what lended itself to like this new, not unaccompanied, but like just you by yourself kind of sound?
Yeah, I think the pandemic was a big part of it because we were forced to, you know, every song that I've written with the Funnies always starts off on an acoustic guitar anyway, you know,
Really?
in my room. And then, you know, unless Thomas has like a piece that I would write to, but for the most part, it was stuff that I would be writing on acoustic guitar anyway, and then just take it to the band.
Yeah.
And then we would work it out. And with Jason's natural, like, everything's a rock song to Jason.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play him something and it's like sweet, slow picking, and he'll be like, sounds like a rock song.
Dude, sounds like another fucking rock song.
Yeah,
Dude.
which I'm totally cool with because that's his bread and butter, and I think it works.
When he was on the show, we had talked a little bit about arrangement, and like I didn't realize how much of a mind for the macro that he kind of had, the way that he saw and would kind of recontort songs, and like it kind of opened up my mind to what you do in the Funnies and what you do as a lyricist, where it's like, I'm not going to go back to the chorus unless I want to call it a chorus, because other than that, we're still painting the picture. Like, there's still more details to get out.
Right.
So it's nice to be the guy that kind of gets to spew whatever you feel on the page, and then other folks are going to come in and say, all right, highlight that. We're going to move this here.
Yeah,
you know?
Jason's the best at that. I've learned a lot about songwriting from him, and I definitely use those things that I've learned from him like pretty much every time I write a song, like trimming the fat of a song, or like basically get to the good stuff as fast as possible, you know what I mean?
And when you trim the fat on a song that's still an acoustic guitar, is that like taking words out of lines or taking lines out of stanzas?
Or just like cutting music parts out, or like getting to the chorus, okay, maybe this verse is 4 lines, but maybe I'll just make it 2 lines, then get to the chorus, and then I can incorporate those 2 lines somewhere else in the song. You know what I mean? I'm just like editing it as I go, and he's got a very pop mentality when it comes to writing songs.
Yeah.
Which I align with that. I think that's kind of what I try to. I wouldn't say it's pop music, but I think about it in that way when I'm writing a song. Like, how can we?
I mean, dude, you write some unhealthy earworms. Like, you have made it in the back of my dome way too many times for me to say, like, you aren't going to be in the category of popular music, because you write stuff that does have really intrinsic hooks, but it's never sugar-coated. Mm-hmm. You know, like, your lyrical style is very much unfiltered to the way that I know you talk to me the rest of the time. Right. And it's like all the way back to like things like Furniture Cracks or Stick 'Em Up. It's like, this is this whole different lyrical shape of what Jimmy does, but the verbiage, the phrasing continues to kind of be just your plain Jane way of living. Mm-hmm. Do you ever get precious about song lyrics when you guys go to the chopping block like that?
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes there's a hill that will die on, like, oh, this has to be in here. But for the most part, I'm like all about the song, what works for the song, what makes the song more listenable, and so yeah, I mean, there's been tons of times where Jason has been like, well, you should probably cut this out, not because it's not a good line, but because it's not servicing the song, it's not making the song more interesting or better, because you don't want to get hung up on just doing something. I'm trying to find the way to explain it. Just like hanging out on something too long before it gets back to the chorus. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well,
I don't get too emotional about I don't get too attached to something.
Yeah, once it gets brought into the group, it's for the group's manipulation and whatnot.
Right. And there's, if I have something this is how it's going to be, then, at the end of the day, it's my call whether, I want to keep that or not. But we've never gotten to like a heated exchange about it or anything. So.
Well, why don't you play us a tune? I got plenty more questions for you.
Right on. All right. 17 hours, I'll be faded on the porch, smoking cigarettes with people I don't like. Asking myself questions, don't want to know the answer to. I'll take my time. With a serpentine smile, I'll be screaming out profanities with roaches on the couch. Sifting through pages, the filthy and baseless, for something I said to make sense. My face is pins and needles. Needless to say, caught up in something evil, but I said what I needed to say. 17 hours, I'll be older than I am. My silhouette's a person I don't like. Asking myself questions, don't want to know the answer to. I'm running out of time. In 17 hours, I'll be making memories with roaches on the couch. Sifting through pages, the filthy and baseless, for something I said to make sense. My face is pins and needles. Needless to say, caught up in something evil, but I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed to say. What is it called when everything's wrong? These bastards have sold me out again. My face is pins and needles. Needless to say, caught up in something evil, but I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed to say. Caught up in something evil, but I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed to say. I said what I needed. I begged and I pleaded. I said what I needed to say. Fuck yeah, Jimbo. The chorus of that song's ironic to this next question, but do you ever write something that's so personal that you worry about hurting people's feelings? Because I love the line of smoking cigarettes with people I don't like. Right.
And I can only imagine the amount of fuckers that came out of the woodwork and were like, do you like smoking with me, Jimbo?
Do you like smoke? Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. There's, yeah, I mean, that's for sure.
Well, so when you're writing, do you consider those folks, or is it more just like in retrospect as you start playing out the song, do you start to question these, like, am I hurting somebody with this?
Well, I think I don't make it too obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you lumped everyone you've ever smoked cigarettes could be in that line. And, like, that's the part where it's like, God damn, you just opened up the chain of events.
Right, and I actually kind of messed up the first verse. I sang some of the words wrong. But, like, the second verse, it says, my silhouette's a person I don't like. So I'm kind of, it's not that I don't like these people. It's that
yeah,
I'm not, maybe I don't like myself that much sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, if they think it's about them, then it probably probably is. But no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing in songwriting where like you're writing stories about the characters that are around you, unless you're totally fictionalizing, which tends to be a rather difficult thing to really reach for something you don't know. It's like, then what am I really writing about here?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you hit something that's so personal on the nose, it's like you wonder about that compounding effect, but that's also why it's visceral.
Right.
In your own songwriting, do you tend to pitch loose ideas at a page, or does the whole hook do you come at one point in time?
It's like sometimes it's just a different process. Sometimes I'll have, like lyrics written out without music, and then I'll, just make them fit. Or, sometimes I'm sure you've had the experience where just like you're mumbling something and then it just kind of sticks. And like when you're saying it, it might not even make sense, but then you're like, build the song around that idea, I guess.
We ever had the thing where like you write the song, you start playing the song, then you review the lyrics eventually, and you find out that like you subconsciously change things to have them make more sense or just to roll off the tongue better.
Right, for sure.
I feel like that's somewhat hand in hand with that process. Like I'm just spitting noises till the muse sends me some kind of word to nail this thing in.
For sure, yeah. I think for this song, I had the line, "My face is pins and needles," and I was like, "What can I do with that?" And then I thought it was kind of cool how my face is pins and needles, needless to say, because it's
Yeah.
The lettering on that I thought was pretty neat. I just try to put little clever stuff in there like that. But
That's something I've never caught listening to you play that song, but that's fucking awesome. It's like that's one of those things that's only entertaining to you until someone else is like, "Oh my god,
Right.
Jimmy's got me."
well, I put like a clip of that song up on a YouTube short, and there was this comment, and a guy pointed that out. Like, I like how you did. And I was like, "That's awesome!" Like,
Oh, did you not notice it before he
well,
did?
no, I did.
Okay,
but
okay,
I
I was
was
gonna-
just that was my favorite comment because I was like, "Oh, he caught that." But
Yeah. Well, you've been really upping your game on the shorts and TikTok and Instagram Reels. Has that been like pulling teeth to make that kind of stuff?
it's hard to I try to post at least once a day. I mean, I've been kind of slacking on it a little bit, but you see a lot of these guys blow up and get all these sweet opportunities from having a 30-second clip of a song or something on there. I like it. I mean, I think it's a tool that everybody has access to, so why not just utilize it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
When a lot of the time, like, if you figure out how you like to make the content, which may not be the best pursuit of it, but if you figure out how you like to do it, then it's pretty simple to turn stuff out that you can post every day.
right.
It's not like you can go to the studio and push out a tune every day. It's not like you can have a revised music video every day or a lyric video.
Right.
That stuff has too many hands or too many hours put into it versus just you in the backyard or going in the woods. You can take 2 clips from the same video. Like
Right. Or 5 clips from the same song, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so do you tend to film the video once and then choose clips from there?
Sometimes I'll, I think you can do like the 60-second thing. Like the video will stop at 60 seconds. Or yeah, sometimes I'll record like the entire song and then just clip it out and put,
Yeah.
pieces of each, like a piece of a verse or a piece of a chorus with the lyrics and stuff.
For sure. Do you go through the painstaking process of like recaptioning all that shit when it doesn't come out right?
Yeah. I mean, if I got to do a couple takes, I'll do it. But like, I've just been setting up a camera in a tree in my backyard. It's kind of funny how like I was doing the playing in the woods thing, and then now that's become like a thing. Not, everybody's playing in the woods, and then I got on that Appalachian Untold. I was like, I thought that was kind of funny how that happened.
It's definitely ironic. Did
Yeah.
they reach out to you for that opportunity? Or you reach out to them?
It was a buddy of mine. He's also got a couple songs on that channel. James Reed. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I don't
but
know James.
He's from Lexington. He's a country singer songwriter. He's really He's a badass. He's got like that old school outlaw country vibe to him. He's just
Nice.
He's like about that life. Like he's legit. But anyway, I did a gig out in Lexington with him, and he was like, he knew the guy John Douglas, and he was like, you should get Jimmy on here, and he like really pulled for me to get on that platform. So it probably wouldn't have happened without Mr. James Reed.
Yeah. Well, it's convenient when your peers don't see you as a threat, they see you as a compliment to what they do, and they're happy to pull you onto a channel like that, because inevitably the more people that land on your video are going to land on his video and vice versa.
Right. What's good for him is good for us, and
yeah,
for sure.
Have you found that this new solo singer-songwriter chapter of your career has opened you up to a lot of new listeners and a lot of new artists, whereas being with a band, it's kind of harder to navigate that?
Yeah, definitely. There's people that I wouldn't have met before just because I was on like a little bit of a different circuit, I guess. I've met a lot of incredible songwriters and stuff doing the solo thing, and being able to do things like Crooner Circus and stuff like that. You meet all people from all over the place. There's just so many great songwriters out there. It's kind of like, it's pretty nuts. You know what I mean?
Now, have you ventured into writing with other songwriters rather than writing with bands?
Yeah, I've written, in the last couple of years, I've probably done more collaboration stuff than I've ever done before, and that's been fun. It's a different experience for sure.
It's definitely different. I have a hard time writing lyrics in between other people's lyrics. Like Tommy Lee and I have a relationship where I just sit there as she kind of spills things, and then we go down the list and we start crossing out lines and then pitching in lines. Mm-hmm. Whereas like to start fresh with somebody, to try to go from no ideas to this one idea by the end, it feels like we always start to steer in different directions at some point, and that's such a difficult thing.
Right, yeah, it's not easy, but I think it's a good muscle to exercise, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think it improves your songwriting when you work with other people, because you got to kind of like think outside of the box and like try to match their voice or what they're trying to say, what I'm saying? But like you said, it's easier if they have an idea and there's already something like a direction, but it's pretty hard to just create something out of thin air, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and when you do catch that feeling of, all right, out of thin air has come an idea, to feel like you're pulling the team along into the direction where they don't get it yet. You're talking about lines that don't even exist on a page yet, but you have this idea that you want to keep rolling with. If someone else is pumping the brakes trying to get something in there, it is such a deterrent to the inspiration,
Right, yeah, for sure. It's not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but I think it's important to do. I think it does help you as a songwriter.
It's definitely something I need to give more opportunity to in my own life. Because, like you said, like not only is it's a good test to the mind and kind of gets you in a different shape, but it's a really intimate way to get to know other songwriters. Like when I hear guys like Kevin Fox talking about writing with Ronnie, or when I hear Noah talking about the slew of folks that he works with, to say that in the room together we crafted this thing that it's how I feel about my wife and how they feel about their wife. Or this is about us coming together on the worst feeling of loss in the world. That kind of community kicks pretty hard when you need people,
Right.
As you've ventured into this new chapter of the songwriting, do you still put tunes in a bag that are there for Funny's material? Do you ever write something and say, like, this is not Jimmy Clepper solo?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go in with the intention of like this is going to be a funny song, but there's stuff that I've been working on recently. I'm like, yeah, that leans more towards the funny stuff, and like I said, getting acquainted with my electric guitar and my pedals and stuff. I'm like, I don't have to just do this. I can do some rock and roll stuff.
Hell yeah.
So,
well, I think it's probably weird to have the fan base that you did with the Funnies and that y'all can still continue to carry, but now you're getting a new fan base. I would imagine they don't completely overlap. There's people that don't get the new Jimmy Clepper.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that just straight up, it's not their bag, because it's kind of, it's very different, but I think I've always written songs like these. You know, this is stuff that I've always wanted to do. I just, one of the things I used to say is I want to make a record that my dad likes because, he's pretty hard. He's a pretty hard cookie. So he listens to some of the funny stuff with, like the C note and stuff like that. And he doesn't get it. And I'm like,
He doesn't get C note? Dude.
He's a 74-year-old Vietnam veteran, so he's got his...
Right up his fucking alley. I don't know what he's talking about. All of
He's-
Soft Pack, dude. I have a really vivid memory of listening to Soft Pack as we were driving out of Chicago one time. And, like, that's always going to be clear in my dome from that moment. I think it's the first time I listened to it without the vinyl being present.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for flipping me that vinyl at a friendly rate. I'll never forget that moment where I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for new Funnies materials. Like, I was a pretty diehard fan for the first 2 albums. Like,
Yeah.
I've told you and Josh this, and again, I'm going to make you uncomfortable, Jimbo, but in college, when I was, hanging out with my friend group, everyone would bring music to the table that would then either, it would swim or it would sink.
Right.
And it was interesting to see like what stuck around with the friend group, what made it on other people's playlists, what became the stuff that we would listen to, whenever we're going out and smoking or we have a party or any of that. The biggest contribution I ever made to our friend group's listening was the Funnies. We fucking love the Funnies.
That's awesome.
Everything from Buck 50 was my favorite for the longest time, but Lucky, Stick 'Em Up. So when you gave me that vinyl, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for new Funnies. Like I'm still pretty buried in this other material.
Right.
But it's like it became a totally new chapter of what I love that you do.
Yeah.
Has it been hard to step away from full band production and say that songs are enough without the full band interpretation?
Well, so I brought some stuff. It's in the car. I'll have to give it to you. But I've actually gotten back into doing the full band stuff with the Jimmy Clepper material. So some of the stuff I've been working on, I have, it's got layers and drums and bass and all that stuff. But
Is Chris Lute playing on that?
yes, sir.
Is that Chris, how you pronounce Chris last?
Yeah, Chris Lute.
Dude, that guy is just an out of nowhere motherfucker. I'm like, where have you been?
He's been everywhere, man. He's a badass. I'm lucky to be able to jam with a fellow like him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just a special player, man. In the same way that Thomas is like, Thomas writes more lyrical guitar parts than most people write lyrics.
Right.
Like he's really telling you everything that he's got to tell you within.
It's very
2 bars.
expressive. Yeah, he's a great at writing parts. You know what I'm saying? He's not just soloing or like doing. He's writing a part. It says something. It contributes to the.
And you find yourself singing that before you're singing lyrics. It's
Right.
like it has that same earworm kind of level to it.
Lucky.
Well, dude, that's exactly what I'm over here thinking. It's like that shit gets in your dome.
Right. He's great, man. He's very. Him and Chris are very different guitar players, but I think they're cream of the crop.
Well, yeah, exactly. This fact that you have these players in your life at your disposal for these songs to gain the legs that they deserve is a really cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been to approach funny shows since DK moved?
We got a guy, Skylar Ben, and he's a great bass player. So he's basically, he's the guy now. He's the, and if DK's ever in town and wanted to hop on a show, obviously that would be cool. But he's out, he's chasing his dreams, but yeah, we got.
He's kicking ass on the West Coast now, right? Yeah,
he's
okay.
in Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah,
We love you, DK. If
We love
he
you,
sees
buddy.
us,
He'll probably see it.
I would hope so. So I told you we were going to delve more into the personal. So you've been a dad for 14 years.
Yes, sir.
Were you writing before you were a dad?
Mm-hmm. I've been writing since I was probably. My stepdad showed me 3 chords on a guitar when I was like 11, G, C, and D, cowboy chords. And then like before I even started trying to learn other people's music, I was writing crappy love songs as an 11-year-old.
And how much do you recall those crappy love songs? Do you have any
Well,
any old tapes, any old lyrics?
oh man, we have so much. Me and Thomas used to have. He still has it somewhere, but I don't. It's like been fried. I don't know if there's a way you can pull the hard drive out of it or something. But like one of those old Zoom studios,
Yeah.
like an 8-track digital, we had like literally 1,000 tracks on there, or 1,000 songs, not finished songs, but like at least, we filled the whole thing up with a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of it's posted online. Like early, we've been called See You in the Funnies since we were like 14. You know what I mean? So if you dig deep enough, you can find some of that stuff like on Reverb Nation and
That's wild.
SoundCloud and stuff.
Who kicked that name out there?
It was me. I heard it in a video game, Max Payne, the video game. There's a part, and he's like tied up to a chair, and the guy's like beating the shit out of him with a baseball bat or something. And he walks away and says, "See you in the funny papers." And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See you in the funnies.
Dude, that's badass. So, was Thomas like your first musical friend that you kind of let hear this material? Did you play it for a variety of folks, and he's the first one to say like, "Let me play on that"?
Well, actually, the first, like, his brother was a big part. Thomas's brother was a big inspiration for me to even pick up a guitar in the first place. But yeah, I used to go over to his house, and we'd have sleepovers and be in the basement with Cool Ranch Doritos and Mountain Dew and stay up all night just writing, messing around on his studio. But the singing thing started. I put some lyrics and vocals to a song that like a chord progression that he was working on, and it was just, I just made it up, and it was like really goofy, like stupid parody song. I wasn't really like taking singing or anything seriously, and we played it for his dad, and his dad was like, if you actually tried, Jimmy, you might actually be able to sing, So then I was like, oh, then I got that in my head, and I started like focusing on doing like writing, and like really trying to take it serious.
How much time between that moment of like, bet you could, to holy shit I can? Like, when did you write something that stood out to you like, I'm a fucking vocalist, like I'm the lead singer of the band?
I still don't think that I am,
But what was the moment where you were like, that's a good one, that's a keeper? What was the first one that was like affirmation?
Well, there was a song, I think it's online somewhere. I might be able to find it. But yeah, I remember this. I was like, this has a chorus and this has a verse and this like makes sense. It was a song called "It's Killing Me" that me and Thomas did. And back then we called ourselves Termis and Germ.
Fucking awesome.
But yeah, I got CDs all over the place, like old CDs that we used to, burn and give to our family members for Christmas and stuff like that. But
yeah, so when the new chapter of like parenting and a different level of responsibility came about, did the music ever change to you as far as like what its purpose was in your life?
Yeah, I mean, it's just always been such a big part of my life that I think when Raylan came along, it just was even more of a motivator to like keep doing it and just focusing on it. And like, that's the only thing that I was ever good at, I don't have any special skills or anything outside of music. And I think that's an example for her. Like, if there's something in your life that you're passionate about, just to, stick with it as long as you can. And
yeah, but I'm sure it's weird that you and I both have peers that once adulthood came about, whether it's student loans or your family begins or you find a partner, that they take this one thing that they may have been good at and they put it to the side and they just find something that's going to chip away at more simple comforts. Mm-hmm. Where clearly you've gotten uncomfortable for this day in and day out, every day since you started writing those songs. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had like a very specific place that you wanted the music to take you to? Or has it just been like you've known this is your calling and you're not going to stop this calling?
Yeah, I think it's more of the second one. Like, I don't know how to say it. I've just kind of known, that something was going to come of it. And it hasn't yet, but I just have this like kind of delusional belief in the music, like I think if I stick with it, that something eventually is gonna pop off. I don't know. I guess that's crazy, but
no, I don't think it's crazy at all. I'm sitting here with you as someone that very thoroughly believes in your ability. I am someone in that same delusion of I hope the same for myself. But the reason that this program has come about is because I find a need to talk to my friends and document the things I think they do best. And one thing that's amazing in music, especially in its current form, is the passive effect you can have on people's lives. You wrote a song 8 years ago that sits on fucking line, and maybe you play it out live 6 times a year. But while it's just sitting there on the internet, it crawls in the back of someone's head. It puts a melody to some of the most difficult feelings to kind of express for so many people, and then it becomes a soundtrack to whatever they're living, whether that's positive or negative.
Right.
And maybe there's more people than we know of that are capable of that kind of thing, but your adamance and also the amount of at-bats, like I didn't know that about you and Thomas. How much does a lifetime of being teenagers in the basement writing 5 songs a night for shits and giggles kind of amplify the need to write the next great song for you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just
Do you get frustrated in between songs? Are you the kind of guy that's like, I gotta write something great this week? Like I miss that feeling of something new in the hand to take to this show.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes I won't touch a guitar for 2 weeks, or and it just doesn't feel like when I write, I try to have a purpose with what I'm writing, and like we were talking about earlier, I think there's times where you can treat it like a blue collar thing where it's like I have to write a song, and sometimes your best material comes out when you do that, but most of the time I just wait for, sometimes you'd be laying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and then something will come up and you'll be like, I got to write this down really quick,
Dude, I got fucking fooled twice last night getting up with the same song idea that I thought I had each time. I'm like, dude, there's something about the walk from the bedroom to the living room where
it just wipes your brain clean.
Dude, it slips through your fingers, and then you're out there and you're cold and you're barely dressed, and the cat's looking at you like fucking knew you were a loser. You know what I mean? It's just like it's humiliating to lose the inspiration.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think about those moments of at bats. I'm like, is that the greatest mark of success that you got out of bed again for that idea? And even if you came back with nothing, like it's a testament to what you're trying to do here.
Right, for sure. I think so. I was in a songwriting group with Noah and like 10 other people, and the rules are you have to submit a song before midnight every Sunday. So, like I've written like 3 or 4 songs from that group that I think I'll actually keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that Long Cut Mindset they do that?
No. It's a crooner songwriting group.
Okay.
Something
So
like
it's like the crooner camp stuff that y'all do?
Right. But this is like it's not a collaborative thing. It's like everybody writes their own material. You just have to submit like a verse and a chorus before midnight on Sunday. And I wrote I was probably in the group for like 6 weeks before I started missing, and then so I think it's like 2 strikes you're out type of thing.
Gotcha.
But
that's intense.
Yeah, but it was great though, because it forces you to hold you accountable. Like, I got to sit down, I got to write something. Sometimes it'll be like 10 o'clock Sunday, and I'm like, I don't have anything. Then I'll sit down and come up with something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I might keep that. But
there's something about that muscle where it's like just learning to engage and over again helps you not miss when you're going bedroom to living room at 3 a.m. It's like, man, I wrote something shitty 3 days ago because I had to. It's like, if I got a great idea right now, here she comes.
Right.
You've known Noah much longer than I have. And Noah's a guy that I enjoy his songwriting as a songwriter, but like musically it's not as much my bag. But I found it so impressive to watch him step into this coaching realm and really turn his attention, away from his own career very unselfishly, turn towards all these folks in his neighborhood, saying like, I want this scene to compete with the folks that I keep driving 4 hours to be around. Right. It's like, that's a different type of maniac.
Yeah, he's a nutbag.
Dude, he is. And he's also a father of 3 and a loyal husband who's out here kicking ass.
No,
but
he's one of the most hardworking dudes I've ever met, man. Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. The crooner stuff is incredible, I think. Yeah, I mean, he's really knows what he's doing. He's smart. There's a lot to learn from Noah on that, side of things for sure. So I respect him a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth having the folks that already have some leverage in town, like yourself, that already have some songs that mean a lot to people, continually step on this platform where the beginners get a chance and the veterans get a chance. And everyone's on the same level playing field of what does the song do for you.
Right.
And there's been so much that I've watched him do that I've tried to learn from and refine into my own shows and whatnot, like with the muse and things.
Right.
But I feel a need in 2024 to be more around the community that's already doing that rather than reinventing that wheel, you know?
Right.
Was it difficult for you to start sitting in on those kind of writers' rounds as someone that sounds so different and find your place? Or did you feel like vocals and acoustic guitar, like I'm right where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, I felt comfortable, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, every song for me starts on an acoustic guitar. I think Tom Petty said if it doesn't sound good on an acoustic guitar, then it's probably not a good song. So I thought it was cool. I felt comfortable doing it, and I'm continuing to do it. So
yeah, I have a hard time stripping down past the looper and all the extraneous shit I do. Most of the time for my own entertainment, but it's always been like to compete to some extent.
right.
And the times I've shown up in there without a looper, Noah's been like, "Why didn't you bring your looper?" And it's like you almost don't want to be constrained by those things at times.
Right. Well, I think your songs are great. I think you're a great writer, great lyricist. I think you could do either one. You know what I'm saying? If you want to bring the loop, and you're such a badass player that I think that's like part of the thing. It's entertaining to watch you just go off. But yeah, I think you could do both, and it's just as valuable.
I appreciate that, but it gets sticky in your own mind, and that's
Right.
when you start to, like before you came over today, like I'm doing the usual shit of tearing apart my goddamn studio just to rewire it because I don't want to be productive about real things that fucking matter. It's like those kind of things are the hardest part of our musical career, is trying to divert and stay busy when you're not staying busy with the things that matter.
Right.
And Noah's been a great advocate of like, you gotta do one thing that moves the goddamn needle every single day, because that's some maniacal shit that'll keep you up at night. It's
Right.
11:30. You're trying to write a song, and it's like either I finish the song or I send an email that's gonna change my life. But one of these guys has to happen before midnight.
Yeah, and momentum, and just I'm starting to learn this just in the last couple of years, but like mindset is such a huge part of that, and trying to stay positive. And then when you do that, when you have that mindset, then things start coming to you, opportunities start coming to you. I had this opportunity a few months ago. I was supposed to fly out to this place, and it was like an audition of sorts. I won't get into like too many details about it, but it
Is
was
this
like
a cartel again, Jimmy?
Yes,
God damn it.
Yeah, they had me strap 10 pounds of heroin to my thigh, but no.
It's a nice thigh, but I mean, like, you're gonna look lumpy. We got to go 10 pounds each leg.
Right, there you go. But no, so this opportunity, and I like psyched myself out about it. I was like, man, this was something that could have changed my life, and I was like, I don't deserve this type of shit, the imposter syndrome bullshit that I struggle with all the time. And then I ended up getting a phone call that was like, yeah, by the way, this isn't happening anymore. Like this is not happening. And that took the wind out of my sails for like a couple weeks. But then I was like, fuck that. I started sending out emails. I started getting videos together and content and music and writing and booking days at the studio and just being like, just burying myself into it. And then that same week, I got another phone call. The guy was like, hey, I got another opportunity for you that's even bigger than the one before. And I think that was because I was like, the manifestation hippy dippy bullshit,
Yeah. Well, I think the the idea of the opportunities coming to you through some, mystical vehicle, like that's where it gets kind of hippy dippy, and like it's also it's a good time to have God or a sense of spirituality in your life, because you got to be open and considerate towards that mystical side of life. Like, is there something there? I'd say inarguably yes. Is it the one that's asking for your donations every Sunday that's on this block of that road? Like, I don't think that matters near as much as, okay, I feel called to do something, so I keep doing it. Good and bad days. So on a bad day, you kept kicking the door in, and then by the time that they came there to answer the door, you already had a foot against that thing, and you're kicking it open, and we're going there.
Right.
It's weird with it. Imposter has become such an anthem of your catalog, and I feel like it is such an intimate song, and it has so much to do with those feelings. Is it weird to have like this? It's almost a paradox, Right. You're announcing to the world that's like, I don't feel like you should take this the way that you take this, and people are like, fuck yeah, that's the one.
Well, yeah, I think it's because everybody feels that way, at least at some point in their life, one way or the other. You feel like somebody, I can't remember who said this. It was my buddy Pat Edwards. Shout out Pat Edwards. Said to me, like, some people are more afraid of succeeding than they are failing. You know what I mean? Because if you do succeed, then you have to maintain that. Like, how now I'm here, like, what happens if this all just fucking falls out from underneath me,
Yeah.
So, like, I think everybody can relate to that feeling in some way, but...
Well, it's almost like drugs in that, where, the best high of your life is the one that the next one is rivaling against. Like, as someone that's had songs do well in other bands, these numbers that feel like an affirmation of your ability now become the only parameters that you can feel happy within, and that's a fucking curse. You know, the one song that's most popular on your Spotify will always be the one to beat, and if you have to play against that one, it just drives you crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Would you play Imposter for me?
I can do that.
Fuck yeah.
Sure thing, buddy.
Buddy.
All right.
I forgot how I'm supposed to feel. Caught in the gutter, can't tell if anything's real. I chased your shadows through the dark. We crawled to the surface, far from a murderous heart. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. But somehow I woke up at the end, shot from a cannon, stuck at the bottom again. I'm out of places I can run. Cut with the bullet, the shot come from my own gun. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. These days are crawling to an end. I'm pissed drunk, faded, hanging on your sins. My time has come to love, to pray, to let go of this broken pain. cost of living ain't the same. And I've been going through the motions till I drove myself insane. But I can't breathe a moment longer if I keep it up this way. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. I'm sorry, I moved you, you're nothing I'm used to. I'm sorry, I moved you, you're nothing I'm used to. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. Somehow I woke up at the end.
Fuck, Jimbo. That song made me feel like I got hairs in my vertebrae standing up. You did me dirty, brother. I really like that bridge. What is it? I'm sorry I moved you. It's not that I'm used to.
You're nothing I'm used to.
You're nothing I'm used to. And what do you mean in that?
Well, shit, man. I don't know. Well, that particular part of the song, it's like you maybe you meet somebody that you influenced in a negative way in your life, and it's I'm sorry I moved you. I'm sorry I'm sorry I fucked you up, and you just weren't something that I was used to being around.
Gotcha.
Without diving too deep into it, but
for sure, when people lend you so much to be involved in their life and what you can mean to them, it raises the bar of what happens if I come up short.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like that's a difficult proposition in this life.
Correct.
Especially when it comes to fucking band members. God, they're so needy, man.
Especially fucking bass players, dude.
God damn, DK, come home.
Son of a bitch.
You hurt us.
You talented son of a bitch. DK pulled a fucking fast one on us too. When he
steal your shit.
When he first joined the band, he sent us a demo, and it was his band at the time that he was playing with, and I was like, man, this bass player is really cool. We should, have him come try out for the band. And it turns out that on the demo, it wasn't even him playing bass. He was playing drums.
No shit.
Right. So we had like 5 people come hang out, and everybody that played was really good. And
at the same time?
Not at the same time.
I was going to say, you fucking bachelorette these dudes.
Yeah. Well, no, we had some of them leaving while the other ones pulling in. But like we met like 5 different dudes, and all of them knew the songs better than DK. DK was like fumbling through these but I was like, DK's a cool hang, and I like DK.
Yeah.
And he's obviously super talented, but no, I mean, I was like, I thought you were the fucking bass player on that thing.
Dude, that's hilarious. You got fucking played.
Yeah. But
what's your day gig, Jimmy?
My day gig?
Yeah.
I got a little side gig. I work for an upholstery shop.
Is it the same one that Adam works at?
Yeah.
Very nice. How long you done that?
About a year and a half, maybe. Like it's just like it's a side gig. I do all kinds of different stuff to make extra cash, but that's like the main one I got going on right now.
And have you always kind of dabbled between a handful of projects like that?
Yeah. I mean,
what's the weirdest side hustle you've ever done for money that doesn't explicitly involve sexual acts? Or the cartel?
Shit. Yeah. The main one is cartel, but that's where I get most of the money. They're actually looking for me right now, so that hopefully by the time this comes out, I'll still be.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be around.
I'll be above ground. I don't know, man. I've had so many different odd jobs over the years, The last real job I had, like 9 to 5, was a warehouse job for a pilot shop.
Pilot?
Yeah, like it's a like Cessna plane shit.
No shit.
Yes, I don't know if Sporty's pilot shop.
No.
It's in Batavia. It's the world's biggest Cessna pilot shop.
No shit. So,
Yeah.
like, the warehouse gig is like you're pretty much boxing things off a conveyor, or like what the hell?
Oh
you
yeah, I pull shit off the shelves and you put it in a box, you ship it out, that kind of shit.
Dude, and you're handling like parts that decide whether someone falls out the fucking sky or never
Right.
gets off.
Well,
the
a lot
ground.
of it's like, so I got this wallet from there. It's got the pilot emblem on there. So
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
So like
and
there's
those-
like some regular consumer it's like you're checking out items, you know, like you want some chapstick, you know.
right. There's all kinds of shit. They don't sell like airplane parts and shit, but it's like jackets, fucking. I mean, anything you can think of. they
Oh,
got it.
so it's just like Cessna fans.
Yeah. Well, it's an airport slash. Just Google it, dude.
Dude, this is Sporty's.
Sporty's pilot shop. Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking wild. How long did you do that?
I did that for like 2-3 years. It was weird. It was a weird gig. I felt like I was too old to be working there. There was a lot of college kids coming in.
Fair enough.
And I had to keep my hair above my ears, and I had to keep a clean shave.
Why?
Yeah, I was in a warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
like,
I don't want to get into, but let's say the the owner of that pilot shop was a weird guy.
yeah.
So,
How long you had your hair at this length?
I haven't cut it since I quit that place. So it's been
Awesome answer.
It's been like 6 years since since I've cut it. I've had a couple trims here and there, but I've always had long hair my whole life, pretty much.
Yeah. There's some cute young Jimmy Clepper pics where you
Yeah.
got like, you know, pretty much like a fresh European cut, like something high and tight. But
Yeah, that's a lot. You would think that would be easier to maintain than this, but it's like, no, then I have to get like monthly haircuts and shit.
yes, or else it looks off. Because
Yeah.
this never looks off.
Right.
You know?
It's just,
How
I look
often you
like,
wash that beautiful mane?
I try to keep it like 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, cool.
I don't wash it every time I shower. 'Cause
Yeah.
It dries your hair out and shit. Use that mane and tail.
Yeah. How do you dry your hair? Do you just wait?
Yeah.
You're just one of those.
You just wait. Nah, I do the fucking mom thing where you wrap it up in a towel, dude.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to some extent with that
Right.
length. Dude, I grew my out. I was growing my hair out for like. Sorry, I'm slurring. One Bud Light, I'm an
well,
asshole.
dude, get this guy out of here with these Bud
I know,
Lights.
that's
Oh, wait, you don't got the platy though.
Dude, get that platy in you.
I'm gonna shotgun this son of a bitch.
You're welcome to. I mean, it is carpeting down here, so don't make a fucking mess. But I'd love to see it. I grew it out for like maybe year and a half, 2 years, and I was really enjoying the full length. Like I bring my fan out to every
Yeah.
fucking show so I can get a little blow job.
It definitely looks looks good on stage.
Yeah, it's way more fun on stage.
Yeah.
But then every other aspect of my life, like it was deterring people from loving me. You know what I mean? My wife's like, is that your hair in my mouth or my hair in
Right.
my mouth?
And it gets in your ass crack. That's a big problem for me.
Dude, I think that's the most exhilarating feeling of the day.
It's
Pulling
like-
a hair that turned out to be all the way under your ass crack.
Yeah. And then you might get like a paper cut like on your ass.
Have you?
I mean, yeah. Let's just.
Yeah.
It's happened once or twice.
Dude, it's like the way they cut cheese when you go to the grocery, you know, like they're just pulling
Yes.
that line through it.
The
It's
string.
also how the cartel kills.
Yeah, that's how they dismember you.
We've been watching, we watched Better Call Saul, and now we're watching Ozark, so I'm having way too many
Oh,
ideas
God.
about, like, I told her, I was like, it's not like I'd be good for anything, like, really practical for them, but if they have private parties, do you know how much that could change our lives? Like, what if I was just, like, the dude playing cocktail jazz, you know
That
what I
would
mean?
be
Like,
sick for the cartel.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what I'm singing in Spanish. I just need to be able to enunciate and get fucking by.
There you go, man. That's your bag right there.
Man, I love when I hear like international artists that sound so American because it's just the way they learned how to sing, and then you hear these
Right.
people talk, and then it's like, what are you chewing on over there?
Right.
Is that 10 Zin in your fucking gums? You
Now
know?
you got that trend. It's like what they call it, cursive singing. Like now it's like all these indie artists. They all sound like I can't even do it. There's like so many videos on TikTok of these people like singing in cursive, and it's like they sound like they're from the UK and they're from like Brown County or something.
Just that statement of singing in cursive is beautifully dumb. You know what I mean? Like it's very avant-garde in a way that makes no goddamn sense.
Right.
You know?
But it does, because you can,
Dude, I'm someone that got like I had the most beautiful handwritten notes from my Nana that I couldn't fucking read, because like even though I learned how to write in cursive, I was like, what is this? Like this looks more like crown molding than it does text. You know, like it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Do you handwrite lyrics?
Yes, most of the time. But yeah, I mean, I do. I'll put stuff in my phone, but I feel like I remember it better when I handwrite it.
Yeah, there's definitely something that mechanism. So what do you do when like it's time to go in the studio? Like dig through a pile of notes and try to find that batch?
Most of the time, by the time I'm in the studio ready to record a song, I already have it like memorized. You know what I'm saying? I don't really need to read the lyrics. But
do you ever take lyrics with you to places? Will you ever take hard copy anywhere? Or like if you don't know it's not ready?
I think there's been like 1 or 2 times where I've read lyrics off my phone while I'm playing the song, but that's pretty rare because, like I said, I play it so much that I fucking remember it, you know.
Do you find it shameful when people do that as someone that doesn't?
No. I mean, if you're playing cover tunes, I don't think... Or if you're, like, doing, like, an open mic and you're just trying to play something new, like, that isn't finished or whatever, I don't see a problem with it. But I do. There's a guy that comes to my open mic. I'm not going to call him out by name, but he's really talented. And he's always reading shit off of his phone, and I'm like... Or his tablet. And I'm like... Dude, those are your songs. You should fucking know them.
Yeah.
Get that thing off stage. It looks stupid when you're up there playing.
Yeah. Well, also, if you don't remove that crutch, then you need it longer, unfortunately.
Right, right. I think he psychs himself out about it, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's just close your eyes and fucking sing it, dude. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, and be comfortable with fucking it up. You know, like, what's the worst case scenario?
Right,
like,
and that's sometimes he'll stop when he fucks up. And I'm like, don't ever do that. Just keep going, bro.
Dude, that's at a hero's pace. Like, you're not saving nobody, and you're hurting yourself pretty good by doing
he'll literally
that.
be like, fuck, then start over again.
Dude, starting from the top, too, like, that's like, you better be paying $50 an hour for it to be you and one guy on a really nice mic to do that kind of thing, you know?
Who's that band that sings, whoa, heaven let your light shine down?
Is that Collective Soul?
Okay, so
is it?
Yeah, I think that's it. They were playing at the Blue Ash fireworks this past year, and they fucking played that whole song, and then stopped, and there was like a fucking 45-second pause, and then they just played the song again.
No,
like, the whole song.
No,
I was like, what the? I was like, this is fucking weird, man.
That is so cringe and hilarious.
Yeah, because that's like, it's like, oh, the set's a little shorter than we expected. Let's just play that one again.
Run it back, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Do you ever have moments where you're singing your own lyrics, fuck something up, and someone in the crowd knows your lyrics as well as you?
Yeah, I've had people like, I've literally forgotten an entire second verse, and then I know it's coming up, and I'll like lean over and be like, what the fuck's that? What's the second part of this song? And then they'll tell me.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, I forget my own shit all the time too. So
just something you're comfortable with.
Am I comfortable with forgetting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's part of it's rock and roll, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got it. Maybe I'm hammered. You know.
Right. Yeah. Maybe I'm fucking drunk or something. But
there's something so awesome about like the moment you try to think of a line, especially like outside of the stanza of singing it in order that you normally do, you lose the muscle memory. Mm-hmm. It's not like you know these lyrics. It's that you've sang them enough that it just rolls.
Right. So that's why I say close your eyes and just kind of just be like, yeah, here it comes, and just hopefully, because then when you start thinking, oh, I don't remember it, that's when you fucking
that's when you stumble deep into the rabbit hole, and then you end up just feeling like a failure.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times, but yeah, I mean, you got a lot of songs. It's hard to fucking remember all of them. Yeah.
Well, then there's also if you don't take it from written lyric to your phone or some kind of like longer term storage, you're gonna lose a lot of songs over time. Like when you go back to that original Zoom recorder, when you hear something, can you hop into motion with a lot of those?
What do you mean? Like,
do you remember them as soon as you hear them?
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, so you can start singing along to it, or
right.
You ever have the issue of like playing guitar parts you've written and things like that?
Yeah, like completely forgetting them and stuff.
Yeah.
Thomas and I have run into that before a lot, actually. Like,
Well, and he plays such odd shapes too.
Yeah,
Like, he's
and
not conventional. So
right,
like,
he forgets that shit. I'm like, you gotta like start video, recording yourself playing the stuff so you can remember it. But
I find that worst in the voice memos too, where it's like
Yeah.
maybe I'm doing a weird tuning or something fun, and then it's like, oh, that's fucking gone.
yeah,
You know?
for sure. That's another reason it's good to write shit down on paper, because how many phones I've lost and broken with a bunch of stuff on there.
I'm worried about losing a loose leaf paper. And
Right.
you're like, that's the 4th iPhone 6 I've dropped in the
Right.
same goddamn pond. That's why you got to quit putting your phone in fucking trees when you want to go live, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm a Android, bottom of the barrel Android guy, dude.
And is that just like a personal stance? Like, I'm not going to pay that much for a phone? Or do you like
I just think
Android?
I'm just used to the layout of it, because I don't know how to navigate my way through an iPhone.
Really?
The one I have, my phone's not too much cheaper than an iPhone. It's the Pixel 6.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's the nicest phone I've ever had. It's got the nicest camera.
How long have you retained this phone?
Um,
Any good gashes?
2 years. Yeah, I got a crack. I actually shattered the entire screen and then paid $200 to get it fixed.
Nice.
And then I cracked it a week later. So
Dude, I got my iPhone screen replaced at one of those mall kiosks once.
yeah,
And I found out, like, that's like asking someone to fuck up the internal aspects of your phone because you want the screen to look nicer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's never going to be the same.
no, it's weird. It doesn't feel like that's. It's like doesn't feel like that screen's supposed to be on my phone.
Yes, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
I should have gone to the other kiosk where they make, like, a glass version of your face, and it's
Yeah.
called it a day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, now I got a cracked phone and some silly meme shit. You know what I mean?
and some cool sunglasses.
Dude, I will support the Sonny's option, okay? That's
Yeah.
always a great place to buy yourself a weird pair of something.
Yeah.
What's that fur coat that you wear on the that See in the Funnies poster I have in love? You ever rock that bad boy in concert?
Oh yeah, there's a video. We played at a place called Octave. I don't think it's there anymore. Or I think there's a new place in Cincinnati that's called Octave, but it's not the same place. But yeah, I played a set with that thing on and sweated my ass cheeks off. But yeah, it's a woman's fur coat, and it only comes like the sleeves are like down to here.
That's kind of convenient for playing though. Like,
Oh,
you have
yeah.
oversized sleeves. You're not getting around that
Right,
shit.
it's perfect. And yeah, I used it in the video too. The soft pack video.
Nice. How much touring have you done with the Funnies versus outside of the Funnies at this point?
Like touring? You mean like out of state stuff like that, or?
Even just out of the city. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what kind of circuits do you like going on? What's been your favorite tour stop?
Honestly, that's the big goal for 2024 for me, is to do a lot more of that. Like get out. We did some traveling, like, but not very far. We did that tour, if you want to call it that. Well, yeah, it was the Florida thing with the Funnies a few years back. I like Columbus a lot. I like
Where are you playing Columbus?
what's the Space Bar? One of the places. I can't remember all the names of these.
Yeah, I've still never played anywhere in Columbus.
Yeah, they got a cool music scene up there, man.
Actually, I played this one place called Tree Bar. That was like,
Okay.
it was like almost like a
I think-
BYOB dive that has a stump in the middle of the
Uh-huh.
room that you play. It used to be a live tree, and they were like, this thing's fucking dead. So
Yeah.
now they have this massive stump dead center in the room.
Stump
And the-
bar.
Yeah. Dude, this doesn't have the sex appeal.
Yeah, it doesn't
Or maybe
roll
it
off the tongue.
does.
Yeah, then it just turns into like an amputee.
Okay, don't
mean-
bring Lieutenant Dan into this. Look, just because I put it on Pornhub a couple of times, Lieutenant Dan, does not mean I'm into it. I mean, it was research.
Lieutenant Dan ice cream. But no, I think I've heard of that place for sure. Isn't there a place in Cincinnati called
Tree House.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Dude, I used to play there. The guy who opened that bar, he has a tendency to open and move on from bars, and like he's fucking phenomenal at it. So I play for him wherever he most
Right.
recently opened, and that place was rowdy, and I was freshly 21 or maybe 20, and it was like one of the first times I had like an all-you-can-drink deal.
Wow.
So I would play like 6 to 9, and then I'd be there till 2.
Yeah.
And be like, my shit's all still here. Like, this sucks.
That's yeah. I don't miss playing till 2 in the morning. That's not a fun thing for me anymore.
Yeah, I feel like once we get past 1 o'clock, even for original shows, it's like, what are people getting out of this at this point? Like
nothing good happens after midnight. Isn't that the saying?
I don't know if that saying applies. Like, there's a lot of good dirty shit that happens before 1:30.
Right.
And then it's probably better to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
I recently played on daylight savings. They asked us to play 10 to 2, but the new 2, and they want us to do straight through. And I was like, "You want me to play 5 hours straight? Like, you got to give me a break." Right. They're like, "All right, you can take a break." So I'm planning on taking a break, but normally in like the 4-hour no break slots, I'll let the band step down, do some solo acoustic shit, save my voice, do some of the looping, play some alternative catalog that I'm not going to make these guys learn how to play, like take some requests.
Right.
And this guy came up to me, like the manager wanted 5 hours straight, comes up to me and goes, "So is this your break?" And I was like, "Am I still on stage fucking singing? Like, does this look like a break to you?
Right.
You want me to go 5 hours straight and you think this doesn't count? Like, you're an ass." I was devastated, dude. But then I got shitty drunk, and it worked out great. Yeah. Someone gave me a tequila shot right after a White Russian, which I think is like, it's like pulling a knife on somebody only to end up shooting them. You know what I mean?
Or it's like, what's the banana Sprite challenge?
Oh, God, dude, fucking violent. Or the Benadryl challenge. That did a good thing for TikTok, didn't it?
I don't. What's that one? I haven't heard of that.
Pretty much, you chug a bottle of Benadryl, like not like a bottle of liquid Benadryl,
okay,
like the pill forms. And you try to get, dude, it's a bad go at it.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird to think like when we were kids, the way that you get noticed is by doing something awesome, and then like TikTok has taken like the jackass route to fame to a way less romantic version of it. Like, at least they had like cameramen in a team and like someone that cared about their well-being.
Right.
But as you're like, thinking about going to work at Walgreens, or you could just go to Walgreens, steal a bottle of Benadryl, and make it huge on the internet. You know what I mean?
Or take a bong rip of like a Tide Pod or something in your...
Dude, that's a hell of a meme. That'd be awesome.
Just a squirrel ripping a bong full of Tide Pods.
Watching someone rip tobacco out of a bong is one of the most graphic things I've ever experienced.
God.
Yeah.
That sounds
What do they
awful.
call those? Chops?
I've never heard of that one either.
Yeah. I used to watch my college buddies do them. Like,
what? So you just straight tobacco and you rip it out of a bong?
Yeah, it's just something festive to do. Just like a nice change of pace. I saw a couple of times where like they put weed on top of a tobacco bowl. Just to make someone think. Get them to go ripping for sins.
See, that's funny.
No, dude, that's so cruel and unusual.
Yeah, well, still funny.
Yeah. When did you start smoking weed?
Oh, man. Too young.
Really?
Yeah, probably like 15, 16.
Okay.
But like now I've noticed, I smoke way less weed now than I ever have. Yeah, I don't really like weed that much anymore.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like gives me anxiety.
Yeah. And do you think that's because you started smoking so young, or do you think it's just like it's a change in perspective on what you want?
And the weed is too fucking strong, dude.
Now you sound like your 74-year-old Vietnam dad.
Dude, I mean, it's true
See
though.
what we're used to, kids.
Like I miss picking seeds out of my like I haven't seen a seed since 2005, dude.
It's because you're keeping them from themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're getting more out of it.
Right. And then now it's like the dabs and shit. Like, I just can't get behind it, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, dude, dabs is a different game.
It's like you want to ruin the next 7 hours of your day, here, hit this dab. I've had people, I'm like, as soon as they pull out the dab rig, I'm like, absolutely fucking not, dude.
And there's also, like, I feel like we're working on, like, a soldering project when you bring out a dab rig. You know what I mean? I feel like we're about to swap pickups out. You know?
Right.
Like, it's like, why is this thing so hot?
There's too much technology going into smoking weed. It shouldn't be that complicated.
There are things like I was a big fan of like the dry herb vapes.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
those are cool.
It would heat it up till it didn't burn. It's like I felt like it was more productive for my lungs.
I like the pins or whatever. Those are cool.
Dude, I had a buddy that told me that he was thinking that it was affecting his hair. And, like, after a while, I started thinking about, like, maybe it's just a paranoia thing. But, like, the more I smoked this, more I was like, I think this is affecting my hair.
Like, just, like, the texture or, like, the growth?
Like the healthiness of it. Like,
I mean, smoking cigarettes will fuck your hair up. So.
Really?
Yeah, it makes,
Do you still smoke cigarettes heavy?
I'm cutting back. I quit for, like, 2.5 years and then got back on that's the worst thing I've ever done in my life is start smoking cigarettes.
And when did you start doing that?
Young, probably 15, 16, stealing the cigarettes out of my mom's sock drawer just to like smoke one because it was cool. And then the next thing you know, you're been smoking for 10 years or whatever.
It seems like, at least in my experience, the worst part of the habit to break is the tactile experience.
Right, the oral fixation.
Exactly. So, like, I recently quit smoking weed. I stopped since, like, September or so. Mm-hmm. And I started smoking cigars just, like, to have something for that fix. So I'm like, you better fucking watch it before you're addicted to the wacky tobacco.
Right.
I'm not talking about, like, the cool wacky tobacco. I'm talking about, like, unfiltered large bricks of it,
Right. And I've tried the vapes, like the gas station vapes, and those don't really do it for me either. It's like, if I'm gonna do it, just give me the acoustic cigarette. Like,
Dude, acoustic is a great. I love when people call it analog weed, like things like that.
Right.
I get really confused by like the Delta 9, Delta 10. It's like, what are you hiding from here?
Right.
Like, why do we have to have like? What if I want non-GMO, all organic pot? Like,
right. That should be an option.
Exactly. I don't need Tyson weed. You know, like you don't need to put chicken. Dude, I got a vegan buddy who was trying to give this gal he's dating vegan chicken nuggets. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, chicken nuggets are made of the worst part of the chicken. Like, it's like,
I didn't even think it was chicken, really.
Yeah, it's like, we can't sell this as chicken, so we're just gonna bread it, make it look like dinosaurs, and tell you it's something.
Right.
If you can't sell that shit as broccoli, what the fuck are you eating? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know it had cartilage and vegetables, but like, that's probably 90% dirt, dog.
That's insane.
Don't trust the vegans, man.
I don't know.
We give them too much grief for that, but man, it seems like a hard way to live,
Yeah.
Any like major dietary restriction like that's difficult.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Are you deep in any type of like, I eat this way, or are you just like, I am
I've been trying to I stay away from the fast food as much as possible. I try to cook every night.
Nice. What kind of stuff you like to cook?
It's kind of hard to eat healthy, dude. It's so expensive food's just so expensive. But I like making easy shit. I'm a big crock pot guy, dude. I like just throw shit in the crock pot and leave it there. You know what I'm saying? But I do. My girlfriend Erica, she's the cook of the house for sure.
Yeah. So when it comes to crock pot meals, like, what do you really pimp out?
Oh, let's see. I like chili.
Okay.
Good chili, like deer chili and stuff like that.
Where are you getting venison from? You can do deer chili.
Everybody, I've come from a family of hillbillies, man.
So everyone's always handing out venison and whatnot. Dude, that's super convenient just to have people that bring fresh meat to your home that you know where it came from.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot better for you, I feel like. And I'm not going to eat like a venison burger, but if you mix it in chili, you can't really even tell the difference.
Yeah. I've never had venison, honestly.
Yeah, it's good. I would recommend just eating it in like a chili or something because you can't really taste the difference. It's got all the...
Dude, I recently got a little bit too much of a hard-on for these rotisserie chickens from this grocery that's right by my apartment. And I've been telling my wife for like months, like, every time I go there, I see the stand that advertises these rotisserie chickens, but they're out. So I'm going to go camp out in their goddamn parking lot. I'm going to get me one of these bad boys.
Yeah.
And so the other day I was there getting her a sandwich, and they rolled this cart out, and like, dude, I almost dropped dead right there. Like, the blood flow started rushing places it shouldn't have been. I was like, I'm getting one of these goddamn chickens today. And I took it home, and I'm like, this is kind of a pain in the ass. Like, you got to eat around the bones and whatnot. And
right.
Like, look at the carcass and be like, man, I didn't know that was so soft about how I feel about animals, especially a chicken I didn't know.
Yeah, when it's fully intact, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like, oh my God.
Yeah, but those are good. The Kroger rotisserie chickens, that's an easy thing to, just pick that up.
Yeah, pick that up, put it over some salad if you want to get, really, really elegant about it. But man, I can't imagine what it's like to have chickens and decide like, oh, today's his day,
Right.
Like,
God, poor chickens, man.
Yeah. You ever had to put down a pet?
No, but I've had to bury a pet before.
Dude, that's way worse than putting down a pet. Oh God.
That's a dark story.
Hit me.
You want to hear it?
Sure, yeah.
I laugh about it now, but it's actually really fucked up. So like, I came home from school. I was in high school, and my sister's crying. I don't even know. This is fucked up, dude. So my cat used to hop in the dryer and sleep on the warm clothes. Okay, so you can do the math on where that ends up.
Jimmy, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
My wife recently came home and told me she has a coworker whose friend recently had the cat suffer the same fate.
Are you kidding?
Dude, I couldn't believe it. She's like, this girl was laughing, telling me, like, my wife's almost in tears.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm about to start laughing because it's so fucked up. You can't imagine. I can't believe there's an epidemic of cats.
It's a thing that happens.
Oh my God.
So I come home from school and my sister's crying and she's like, our cat Russell is in the dryer. And then I open the dryer door and poof of fucking hair comes out.
God. Do you rewash the clothes at that point?
You just get rid of them at that
Well,
point.
I get getting rid of the cat. It's not like
the clothes.
Oh, okay,
you just burn the clothes.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, that was.
I wonder
fucked
how
up.
frequent that actually does happen.
Yeah, because she's just like, I thought it was shoes or something.
Yeah. And there's
thumping around.
Oh God.
And she felt so awful. It was a terrible situation. But
yeah, that's a pretty brutal way to take an animal out of this world.
yeah, so I didn't know if I should tell that one. But since you knew.
No, dude, I think that's only more hilarious to find out. Like it actually is like a recurring problem. I'm glad my cat has never found a love for the warm part of that.
Yeah, you got to keep your dryers closed, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I recently left my dryer open all night because I had clothes hanging on like the door of it. Mm-hmm. God damn, Jimmy, you just made me scared of a whole new fucking thing.
Yeah.
I recently heard, like, those like super motivational Instagram reels where it's like a close up of a dude's face like this tight. And it's just like giving you some truth and it feels good.
Yeah.
It was this actor. Maybe he's just like maybe strictly in the theater. I guess that's still an actor, but it's a different type of actor. You
right.
know? And he was saying, like, I got some advice when I was really young that when you're presented with difficulty, you must use it. You can't avoid it. You can't pretend like it's not there. Mm-hmm. If it's a drama and there's a chair kicked over, fall over the chair. If it's a comedy and there's a chair kicked over, lift it back up and break the leg off the fucking chair. Like, whatever you got to do, like, you have to make this into part of the act. Mm-hmm. And there's experiences like that. Like, now when you look back on, like, it's like Cat in the Dryer, like that's a pretty gnarly idea for a song, but like there's always something to be taken from the worst experiences of your life when you have a vessel like songwriting to put it through.
For sure.
Has songwriting always been like a very therapeutic thing for you, or do you kind of wait till it's in retrospect to start kind of picking at hard things like that?
No, I think it's both, but yeah, it's definitely a therapeutic thing for me, man. It's got me through a lot of hard stuff in my life, and for sure, it's a lot easier for me to talk about things in a song than it is to just talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
when I feel for folks that don't have the songwriting meaning, or else you got to pay someone to listen to it. You know?
Right,
what I mean?
right.
We get the flip side. It's like people that show up to a songwriter's night or one of your gigs that wants to hear like you express some feelings of torment about something or like some true grief. They're your therapist, like their applause at the end is so much more comforting in my mind than any shrink in a chair could be. I've never tried that, and I imagine it is very necessary for folks, but like when people say like music is a therapy, like it's literally a place to cram all this into and address it at a later date.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the best part about it for me. Of course, not it's more than a tool for therapy too. I mean, it's just it's fun. It's I don't know. My life would be a lot different if I didn't have it.
Well, and even sad experiences can have that same aspect. Like, it's fun to finish a song. It's fun to feel like you got something in hand that says it. Like, I got plenty of songs that mean the world to me that don't mean dick to anybody else.
Right.
But sometimes you find one person that, like, they are ready to hear where you were coming from with it, and then the two of you have this moment. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I'm playing at this place called Shorty's Sugar Tit Pub in Florence, Kentucky. It's the one smoking bar I'll play at. And the reason I started playing there is because my buddy Jeremy Honey. Okay. Jeremy was my favorite bartender. This dude was like 6'6", like over 300 pounds. Like, I always told myself, like, if I ever had the money to have security, I'm getting Jeremy, because he always made me laugh, but he could lay down the law so quickly. He was just like the best bartender. I adored this guy. And our buddy Nick Heffron was also playing at Shorty's every once in a while, so we had some mutual friends there. And he texted me one night at maybe 11:30, and he's like, Jeremy passed. And from the way this guy lived his life, I'd always kind of assume, like, you know, I doubt he's going to outlive the rest of us. You know, he lives hard and has a good time with it, and I respect that that's his decision. But it was a day that I wasn't ready to have that come to fruition.
Right.
And the idea got me up at 5 a.m., and by 5:45, I had a song that had let me cry it out, tell him everything I wanted to say, and now move forward with a piece of his memory that I loved. You know, I had a song that made me feel good about loving and knowing Jeremy rather than missing my friend. And every time I play there, I miss him a fuck ton. You know, he was just a great dude. But I was recently in there, and all the bartenders in there know me as Jeremy's buddy. That's the only way I got in there. And they always kind of give me some compassion that we share in missing this guy. And someone just asked me to play a song for him. And I was fucking loaded up with this super painful piece. So I finished my jack. I got into it. And there was just this one woman that I played for a number of times with Jeremy there. And we just both fucking cried it out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a hit to the masses to know that in that moment, I served my greatest calling as a songwriter for trying my best to capture what's so amazing about this guy.
Right. That's beautiful, man. That's awesome.
That's why I keep going back to the sugar tits. You know what I'm saying?
That's what, shout out sugar tits.
Dude.
But no, I mean, that's fucking awesome. And you know, like we were talking about earlier, like the moments of being discouraged about, you know, where is this all going to end up, like the music and your, you know, your journey. But there's always somebody out there, man, that shit, it really does help. It really does affect people in a good way, and it really does help. I always have to remind myself that, you know. When we did the Floozy album, I was going through some really, you know, hard shit at that time, and I had an older guy, the guy's like in his 60s, reach out to me and send me a message like, I'm going through a divorce. This is helping me. This album's helped me through this process, and it's nice to know, you know, somebody out there is going through something similar. Or not, it's not nice that they're going through it, but
I'm glad your day's as shitty as mine, brother.
Right. I'm glad you're as fucked up as me. But no, it really does, and I'm sure you have music that you feel that way about. I definitely do. Like, there's music that's got me through some really hard shit.
Yeah. Well, and you never, like we were talking about with the passive impact, like you never know when that's going to be there for someone at the right point in time. Like, there's a bitterness to how the musical world now treats us with what streaming pays and what streaming does. But at the most basic level, like, does it put this song right there for people when they need it? Fuck yeah.
Right.
Sign me up. I'll lose money on that bet most days of the week.
Right.
On Saturday, I'm going to ask you to fucking pay me, and I'm going to send an angry email. But on Sunday, I'll probably go back to paying you. Like, fucking, we'll see what happens.
Right. If we ain't stopped by now, man, then you know, that's never going to happen. It's not a choice at this point. It's just like, this is what we fucking do, man.
Yeah. It's an advertisement for T-shirts, brother.
Right. I mean, we're just a T-shirt company that...
Dude, we're pretty much selling Cessna gear again.
Right.
You know?
But I am not cutting my fucking hair again, dude.
Yeah, you goddamn hippie. Keep it long, son. Well, is there anything you'd like to play, promote, mention on the way out of here?
I got a couple shows coming up. December 30th, Riverfront Live with Rumpke Mountain Boys. And then January 13th at Majestic Theater in Chillicothe with Murphy, Blind Boy Music.
I've heard great things about that room, bro.
It's a cool spot, dude. It's really creepy, too, because it's old.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's got that haunted vibe for sure.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of place where you go see a ballet that was pretty much just put on by junkies for junkies, but like really beautiful, really moving. But it's just like we're all being paid in drugs.
Yeah, exactly. So I got 2 gigs actually in January at the Majestic. One January 13th with Murphy, and then the 27th with the Lonely Ones. And I'm gonna have a full band for both of those shows, so that's gonna be sweet.
Very nice.
And
you got Neck Nuts playing with you?
Neck Nuts is playing with Murphy. He's actually drums for Murphy. You know, he does everything, man.
Yeah, he's just a wild one.
Yeah,
I thought he was playing bass for you for a while, though.
Yeah, he played a few shows, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that he.
Yeah.
You know, he's my musical brother, so we're always fucking around.
When he was on the show last, I was telling him how I like how he highlights your lyrics with harmonies. It's like your guys' voices blend well together, but it's like it adds a certain emphasis to like re-listen to what was just fucking said there. He really chooses those moments well.
He's great at picking out harmonies, and like the texture of his voice is so much different than mine. You know what I'm saying? That normally you probably would want somebody with a closer, you know, tone or whatever. But Josh, he's a rock and roll dude.
Yeah.
But I think it actually works with the funny stuff. You know.
Yeah, well, it works great, man. You guys crush together. I've never seen you play with somebody that wasn't like, oh, I like that combination. You know what I mean? You choose those folks well, but I think it's just people like to see you in whatever variety you choose.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, brother?
That's it, man. Thanks for having me,
brother. You're one of the baddest motherfuckers in the game. I adore you. I always will. Thanks for coming on, Jimmy Clepper. Everybody, tell them where to follow you. Is it Clepper.Jimmy on everything or Jimmy.Clepper?
JimmyClepper.com. That's my website. Just Jimmy Clepper on Instagram, Jimmy Clepper Facebook. Yeah, just Jimmy Clepper pretty much on everything. No, nothing fancy.
Bang, bang, players. Thanks for watching. I love you, everybody. I know this isn't a greatly viewed program, but the few of you that are here have my love forever.
Yeah, right. We love you, man.
Peace, players.